In my last video, I mentioned that your long-term memories all define you as an individual. In this video, I actually want to explain a little bit more about what that means because I believe it's important, and I also want to explain why it's true. Additionally, I also want to talk about why long-term memories are critical in the process of personal transformation. So to just get right into it, your long-term memory can be broken down into two different categories. You have your explicit memories and your implicit memories. Explicit memory is verbal by nature. You can speak it in your mind. And simply put, it's just conscious memory. It includes all the knowledge, all the facts, all the events and memories that you can consciously recall at any time. And this can include things like subjects you learned during school, experiences with your loved ones and friends, and key facts and information about your life. Implicit memories, on the other hand, are knowledge and bits of information that you can understand but you can't really verbalize. So this can be considered like an unconscious knowledge. You know, the explicit memories are conscious and the implicit ones are unconscious. So what does this mean? How can your body have unconscious knowledge? Well, to put it simply, implicit memory is the long-term storage of your habits. Your unconscious mind is actually able to carry you through 90 to 95% of your daily life. And it executes learned programs that allow you to brush your teeth, it allows you to drive your car, type on a computer, and speak without any conscious effort at all. Tell me, can you explain to me how you walk or how you speak? You really can't, you just know how to do it. You can't forget these routines because they're just in your long-term memory. Another way to think about this is in the context of muscle memory. For example, your body can avoid doing something for years, but as soon as you pick it up, you can pick it up pretty quickly when you try it out. The most common example of this I can think of is like riding a bike. So the combination of all your conscious knowledge, your living memories, your experiences, and the unconscious behaviors that get you through the day, they're all kind of weaved and meshed together into an autobiographical story about who you are. You know, you don't identify with things that don't stick with you. The knowledge that remains in your head after years is the most influential in shaping your identity, creating the behaviors that you're known for, and are actually the most telling of the life that you've lived. So, to kind of summarize all this, long-term memories are just really key to our identity, and I really believe that to change as an individual, it requires picking up new skills, new behaviors, and new knowledge that can be applied enough to become stored in your implicit and explicit long-term memory. There's a saying that goes, if you were actually good enough right now, you'd already have achieved your goal. And you see, achieving a goal, especially one that's meaningful, that's something that's going to be important for the rest of your life, it involves creating lasting change, and this lasting change will always change you as a person by creating long-term memories, both that are implicit and explicit. To bounce off this into another topic that's related, neuroplasticity is the principle that our brains are dynamically changing in response to experience. And this is also the principle that allows long-term memories to form. So when we start learning something, the hippocampus, or the memory center of the brain, actually helps a lot in the formation of these long-term memories. You see, memories aren't actually stored in one spot in the brain, like most people believe, but memories are stored throughout the entire brain in all of the areas that were originally involved with an experience. So whenever we consciously repeat skills, tasks, or information, the hippocampus acts as a conductor, like in an orchestra. So whenever we practice skills, we remember information, when we get into routine, every day that we practice may not look the same every single day, but the hippocampus takes elements that are similar in each of the cases, of all the times that we've practiced something or that we've experienced something, and it activates the brain areas that were utilized during the original experience. So because neuroplasticity says neurons that fire together wire together, the hippocampus is actually trying to get these areas to wire very strongly by reinforcing them and triggering them every time we practice. So this whole process here helps reinforce learning, and it forms long-term connections. After a certain point, though, your brain can actually and automatically fire without the help of the hippocampus in response to practice or a repetition of information, and as a result, you can say here that a memory has shifted from short-term to long-term. Just to give some more information about this is actually how expertise is developed. For people who become experts, they're always reflecting on the perceptual and subjective changes that they experience as an expert. And this is actually due to the neural rewiring of the brain. So whenever your brain wires differently, you perceive the world differently. So if you're someone who wants to personally transform into someone else, whether that's someone who is physically fit or a millionaire or a writer or whatever it is, it's important to study not only the information that the experts know, but also the habits that they execute every single day. Their expertise is rooted in their knowledge and their habits, both of which are long-term memories. Remember, explicit and implicit. To become just like those individuals, it involves repetition and practice so that your knowledge can transition, your skills and knowledge can transition from short-term memory into long-term memory. And when you stick with something long enough, your neural wiring actually changes to become more similar to the person that you admire or wish to become. So it's obvious that you're not going to be like them because everybody has a different life, but if you want to be more like someone else, you need to train your brain to store long-term memories that are similar to the person that you like to become. And this is really how the process of personal transformation works on a biological level. There are reasons why things happen as they do. Unfortunately, neuroplasticity has just dictated that things must be done repeatedly and over time to create long-lasting change. So keep this in mind whenever you're seeking to become someone new, is that it requires not only knowledge, but it requires behavioral changes also. Thank you.